3.5 years ago, maybe 4 now, the first episode of Gravity Falls aired. It was funny, it was engaging, it was mysterious, something I really wanted in a TV show, which I hadn't seen in a while. I hadn't watched too much TV back then. This show made me hooked. Every single week, if it was on, I'd catch it. I'd be able to watch it consistently. Hiatuses came. I got a few episodes. I got the dose. I got into the theories. I got into the show. I got into the lore. I love this show. To me, it's one of the greatest shows that has ever come out. Ever, period. Alex Hirsch has done an excellent job with what he did. And I really admire the show. It's a very big inspiration for me. The bittersweet ending to the story, of course, is that today, on February 15th, it had to end. Now, this is not a case in where it's disappointing. It was far from that. It was everything I wanted in this TV show. Everything I craved that they were going to do in this episode. I was hooked. I was excited for this final episode, and it was going to bring me so much joy to watch it. But then again, 3.5 years of theorizing and having fun, making friends. I made one of my best friends watching this show. We hooked ourselves onto the lore, and we hooked onto the theories and stuff like that. 2 seasons over a course of 3.5 years. 42 episodes. I don't know, every once in a while I'd question how much I really want to engage myself into this show, even though the hiatuses were so long. There was a year of a hiatus. I almost lost interest, but then, when it came around to it, as soon as that new episode came out, I was right there to watch it live. This is one of the best shows I have ever watched, and it's why it's so bittersweet that the actual show has come to a close. A lot of shows have come and gone. For me, I've watched shows rise up, I've seen them rot, I've seen them go on to do great things, I've seen them cancelled, I've gotten upset over that, I've gotten angry over shows I absolutely love getting treated with no respect whatsoever. Legend of Korra, Teen Titans, so many different shows that have been just decimated by studios and stuff like that, and this show could have gone down that route, but it didn't. But enough with me glorifying the past, let's look to the present. This episode was really great. Of course, it had some flaws. I'm gonna bring these up first so that I can get them out of the way. A lot of things didn't get brought up, which I wanted to be revealed. The identity, or what Dipper and Mabel's parents look like, Dipper's real name, Gideon's mom. There are a couple of things like that that honestly could have been handled better, or handled at all, period. But honestly, out of all this stuff, this episode's so great, and the way, I don't know what to say, it's honestly a good episode, but I have so little to say about it, even though it's such a good episode. I can vividly remember, like, so much of it, and yet I have nothing to say. Stan and Stanley getting together and finally sailing the world together was a sweet moment. Seeing them leave Gravity Falls was very, very sweet. Having all these characters that we've grown to have interest in banding together and really making a difference and trying their best to do that. The Cipher Wheel, that's something I wanted to talk about for a bit. The Cipher Wheel was a weird thing. It's been hinted at throughout the entire series, and it was a throwaway. It was a complete throwaway. They were going to do it, they were going to complete the circle, and then Of course, like I said earlier, Stanley kind of messed it up. Crud. Names. Oh, actually, that's right. Yes. But having all the cipher wheels people revealed is very satisfying. A lot of us knew it already. However, them fitting in was kind of... there was not so much reason as to it, but it seemed like it was there from the start, and they really built upon it. That's why episodes like Gulf Wars and Northwest Manor were put in for Pacifica. There was Robbie and his moments with Love God and Rumble McSkirmish episode. A lot of things like that where they put these characters in a situation to interact with the main characters, so that when you see them with the cipher, it feels real because they've been a part of the episodes. The way they handled this ending was very satisfying. A lot of people have been theorizing who was gonna die. Spoiler alert, it's Bill. Ooh. And the whole memory loss thing was actually a pretty cool way of bringing it back. I kinda didn't like it at first, but seeing it come into fruition and seeing Stan recover through memories that Mabel has made was really sweet. Because this entire show has been about family, and a lot of family values, a lot of good feelings towards family, and interactions with one another that really show what family is all about. Loving each other unconditionally, working together even though you may dislike each other. Even if you dislike each other, you still love each other, and you care for each other, and you support them. And that doesn't just include biological family, it includes all of them. Wendy, Seuss. Those two characters are not part of the Pines family in traditional senses, however, they're a branch from that, and them being associated with the Pines family really allows them to shine and shows what they're really going to be doing. It really shows the true core aspect of this show. A lot of people like to say, I like the show because of the fandom's theories. I like the show because of all it does when it comes to mystery. And I love that element too of this show. It's a great way to wrap yourself into the mystery and wrap yourself into the cause of this episode and see what you can find out of all the little hints. The Behind the Pines episode proves that so many people are invested into this mystery, but the core behind the show, the real backbone and the real morals of the show is family. And there's maybe one or two episodes that could really rival the family relations within this episode. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this episode. I've been talking about broad themes and topics like that. I'm going to get into the real essence of this episode. First up, that machine that they built. Oh my god, it was so cool. The way it fought all the henchmen and actually went face to face with Bill, actually pulled out his eye. That was really cool. Yeah. It was awesome. Seeing them go into this world, I was expecting a bit more of Bill Cipher's antics, honestly. The way he normally does things is he screws around with people, he makes them weird, he does that sort of stuff, and I want to see more of that because honestly, that's what he does. He knows how to be weird and how to frighten people, and that works to his advantage because he knows how to control people's psychological state. But we didn't get to see as much. We saw more angry and irrational, and that's kind of why he lost, because he was angry and irrational of all these things happening. And I guess it grants merit to why he didn't win, because normally in this case he would have had everyone killed. Seeing a lot of the minor characters band together was really nice. A lot of them had a lot more roles than I expected them to. One of the ones that actually didn't get a role was the unicorns. Like literally no screen time or acting time as in voices. They didn't talk throughout almost the entire thing. Granted, I didn't really want that unicorn to talk, but yeah. And the conclusion to this episode, the last about 11 minutes, had a satisfying resolution in which everyone gets what they wanted. Well, for the characters at least, everyone gets what they wanted. Not the fan base, probably. Probably they wanted a third season, but after you beat Bill, who else are you going to beat? Maybe just an entire episode spouting off what all the theories actually mean and if they're wrong or right. That should have been Behind the Pines. This was a great episode. Actually, it was 2 episodes. Never mind. It was a great hour to sit down and watch and really look back on all the times that I have seen the show. Repeatedly, I've seen the show about 4 times now, including the finale. I'm going to go back and watch it tomorrow as soon as I get home. But it's been such a fun run. So much has happened in this show. I know there's not going to be a next time, but there's going to be a next time for me watching it. It has been a great run for this show. There may be a couple of episodes that are okay. There may be a couple episodes that are inconsistent. There's some parts of the show that are inconsistent and kind of get into the way of the narrative, but as long as you have a good show, as long as you have a great show like this, I can look past that. I can look past all the inconsistencies now and then. I can look past all the weirdness that is not Bill Cipher. Thank you, Alex Hirsch, and thank you for everyone a part of the Gravity Falls community, the people who made it possible to be this high up status that it has been for the past 3.5 years. Shows rise and fall. Shows rot. Shows start going bad. This one never did. And it's a memory that I can look back on and really smile. I still have my shows. I still have shows that I'm going to be watching. One of them's right there. One of them's right there. Another one's right there. Another one's actually behind it. It's the Adventure Time one. But a lot of things are great. And Gravity Falls is one of those things. And it's one of my favorite shows of all time. It'll live on as being an amazing show, because that's what it is. Thank you all for watching this, probably at this point, 15-minute video. I'm sorry. It just kind of happens when I'm really invested into a show. Oh. This is the only Gravity Falls merchandise I have. I don't have anything else. I should have gone to the panel last year. Thank you all for watching once again.